So one of the first things she said, you know, she was so sweet. And she's like, I'm so excited to meet you. I got your name from Emma Stone. And apparently I had forgot that Emma Stone and her are best friends. One of the first things I presented to her was Willow. It was like the one with the balls where they were throwing it and the witch thing, which I also knew she loved. And I also was like, I know this is the one. This has to be the one because I see it in my head, you know? And we presented it to her and Amanda Balin stood in for Taylor because it's always important to have somebody like standing in for artists. And Taylor started crying.
I can't believe it's been 2 years since Taylor began the Eras Tour. Check out this great behind-the-scenes story from her choreographer and more in this video.
I don't do a lot of artist work. You know, usually I'm like in the commercial, film, television world, some artists, but like I don't really do live tours. That's not usually my lane. So when my agent reached out to me and said, Taylor wants a meeting with you, I actually didn't know what she was talking about. I was like, who? And she's like, oh, Taylor Swift. And I was like, what? And so anyways, it ended up being like, okay, great. We're going to do a little meeting. Then it was very quickly, there's no meeting. You have the job. She only wants you. So then I was like, how did this happen? Again, like why?
Fantastic.
The first time I got on the Google Meet with her, which was hysterical because of course I got on early. You know, I had my like video on with all my notes and everything. They all get on and none of their videos are on. And I was like, I just felt like the big nerd, you know, I was like, and setting up the lights. Totally. And then her manager was like, oh, Mandy, like we don't usually put our videos on. I was like, oh, okay, great. And I was just like, take off my video. I was like, oh God, thank God. Cause I was like, that would have been so weird if I was like the only person in the video. The box like this. Yeah, exactly. Like awkward. So one of the first things she said, you know, she was so sweet and she's like, I'm so excited to meet you. I got your name from Emma Stone. And apparently I had forgot that Emma Stone and her are best friends. And when Taylor was talking about her tour and what she wanted to do with this tour, she wanted to kind of change up what was happening. She wanted to be a bit more like storytelling, cinematic, film based. And Emma said, you have to have Mandy. You can't have anybody else. Who would have ever thought? I mean, I hadn't talked to Emma in 6 years. You know, obviously had a huge time with her during La La Land. But again, like it's not like Emma and I text every day. You know, it's just kind of like, you know, I'd seen her here and there, but it was really cool. And then, you know, then started the process of making. 3 or 4 weeks. I want to say it was 3. It was pretty tight. I thought I was going to have like a week and a half before she showed up. So I thought, okay, I can get some numbers on. She decided to show up 3 days in. And I was like, she just wanted to be there and wanted to start creating. I mean,
did you have to present to her? Or
Yeah, because that's the thing too. It's like choreography like lives in everyone's minds as something. And so like as soon as you present something or you're like, I think this is the thing you wanted. I don't know. Is this the thing you wanted? And one of the first things I presented to her was Willow. It was like the one with the balls where they were throwing it and the witch thing, which I also knew she loved. And I also was like, I killed that one. I know this is the one. This has to be the one because I see it in my head, you know? And we presented it to her and Amanda Balin stood in for Taylor because it's always important to have somebody like standing in for artists. And Taylor started crying and she was just like, she was overwhelmed. It was just like, I love it. When can I?
And you're like,
you know, because that moment you're like a little sweaty. You're like, I don't know if it's going to work. But we were really lucky to have 10 days in Phoenix before we opened in the stadium. So the first 3 days that we were there were basically my blocking days. I mean, I'm sure you remember there was 46 numbers. And so,
I mean, this chick is on stage for what? 3.5 hours?
Oh yeah.
She doesn't leave.
Nope. She doesn't leave except to change her clothes. And that stage is massive, you know, and so
massive.
You can imagine in 3 days, we barely got through the 46 numbers, just staging it. And it's also a video floor. So there was like no way to have marks, which was really a trip because we had to really figure out ways of, you know, I can tell somebody to be symmetrical right and left, but if the dancers can't see where they're standing on stage. So we had to kind of come up with a system of like, okay, you're crotching the line or your toes are on the, you know, the corner of the video screen. So.
Well, and then what about cameras? Do you have to like set that up?
Crazy. No. So a huge part of that show was IMAG, right? It looks like a VMA performance or a Grammys performance, every number, right? I did all of the automation on stage. So I also created all the like lifts and everything that went up and down.
Right.
And then did all the choreography and all of her staging. And then if there was another director who did the cameras and, you know, if he needed a certain camera at whatever point, then, you know, we would work together and I'd tell her like, hey, you know, cause she's a superstar. I mean, she knows what she's supposed to look at all times.
Down to the eyeballs going side.
It's insane.
Yeah.
It's so
I
cool.
saw that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So now here you are with what He's truly, the greatest star around. Was it all great?
Yes.
Yeah.
Like
So
that
that's
is the thing
fantastic.
yes, it sounds weird to say, but it truly was. Like she showed up on time.
Yeah.
She works her tail off. She's not afraid to get notes. If she messes up, she's like, oh, that was weird. Let's do it again.
Yeah.
Like, there's something so familiar about the way she works, because it's like she just gets her hands dirty. She just gets in there and does the work.
Yeah,
she's
that's how
not
I
someone who
felt.
says, she does. And she gets up on that stage every night and gives it 1,000%.
The craziest thing about Taylor Swift's tour is the stage. Rumors are it costs $150 million for the visual, sound, and crew. But this blew me away. It's a video breaking down the one-of-a-kind production that makes the Eras Tour possible. First off, the infamous stage dive into the water. When she dives in, she's landing on an inflatable cushion. But here's what I didn't know. After crawling off, she hops on a cart and gets driven to the other part of the stage. That's the wild thing about this design. There's hundreds of people running around underneath the stage at all times. But here's the craziest part. You know how Taylor gave $100,000 bonus to each of her 50 truck drivers? Well, here's why. Her stage is so massive, they needed to create 2 versions of the scaffolding. That means her trucks split up and drive on a leapfrog schedule. While she's performing at one venue, half the team's already at the next one, pre-setting it up. That's double the work for each driver. On the last day in a city, the remaining drivers pack up the rest of the stage and get started reassembling as soon as they arrive, because the scaffolding is already good to go. This is how she's able to set up such a massive production with so few days in between. Every time I learn more about this tour, I'm blown away by the operation.
Now, y'all know that Taylor Swift, doing concerts all over the country. I have 2 daughters. Teenagers have friends. And so when your dad is perceived as having money and you got daughters that open their mouths and promises them that daddy's going to get them tickets. Ladies and gentlemen, I had to get 10 tickets. Them damn things was $2,000 a piece. 2 times 10 is $20,000. My man Mark Shapiro, he gave me 2 free tickets. Not only did I send my daughters back to the concert, daddy actually went with them. Me at a Taylor Swift concert. But I said I'm gonna go see her. That's the best concert I've been to in my life. Excuse my language, but that shit was off the chain. Taylor Swift brought the damn house down. I was jamming to Taylor Swift. She was sensational. I'd pay to see her again. Seriously. I'm not joking. She was a superstar that night. That girl is special. I never really listened to her music before. I went to her concert. Yo, Travis, it's the greatest concert I've ever been to in my life.
It's off the chain.
I couldn't believe it. It's the greatest concert I've ever been to in my life. I mean, and my daughters hoodwinked me because they got me to take 10 of their friends. Now, that was $2,000 a pop. I spent $20,000 on that damn concert. $20,000. Travis,
That's resale, by the way. That's resale.
I ain't got your money. I ain't got your money, Travis. I damn sure don't have her money. I couldn't. I said, this better be worth it. And I got to confess, it was so damn good, I went back twice. Stephen A. Smith
Nice.
I went twice. I went to 2 Taylor Swift concerts, bro. 2 Taylor Swift concerts.
She had you singing along the second time? You started to pick up on something?
And dancing. And dancing. Ain't that something? Ain't that something?
So today marks 2 years since Taylor began her epic journey with the Eras Tour, which ended last year in December, and I'm still in awe of all of it. I also miss it very much, despite the fact that I never had the opportunity to attend a concert. However, it was a pleasure to cover it and share so many stories especially the behind the scenes stuff that's in this video. For more great Taylor related stories, watch this next video.